Yes, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Veterans Minimum. I'm your host, Nick Deus. At Nick Deus 10 is you can find me, veteransminimum.com, for all things VM, including, Josh, merch.
Man, yeah.
I'm moving.
You're making big time moves. I'm over here giving shirts away for free out in the public.
Hey man, listen, I did that too for a while.
Okay.
But now we're at a point where we're not gonna give out too many things for free. Maybe a couple giveaways here and there, but for the most part, it's like pay up. We got bills to pay.
I'm giving shirts away in my car. I'm giving them away out on the streets, at the beach. It is what it is.
Hey man, that's some of the perks though with members of the Patreon. Another cheap plug: patreon.com/veteransminimum. If you subscribe for a whole year, you will get merch. Depending on the tier that you do subscribe for the whole year, you'll get a different variation of merch. Right? You might get 2 pieces, you might get 3 pieces, all from the merch store. Go and check it out. But before we get going, Nick Chavez, Abel Rezin, Ben Kotzian, Christopher Velasquez, Derek Platees, Devin Rendon, Jordan Riley, Thomas Robinson, Mike Wozniak, and Nick Crummage, thank you all for your contributions. And David Martinez, your stuff is on the way. Josh, my guy, what's good?
First off, Thomas Robinson, like Sacramento Kings, Thomas Robinson?
That would have been dope. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. But hey, man, you never know. You never know who's listening to the show.
I gotta ask these questions. I got questions. You already know how I get down. I always come with questions. But I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. This, the state flower of Nevada is in full bloom. So it's just navigating these cones, as they say right now. So that's the only bad thing in my life I would say right now.
Bro, the traffic is getting out of control out here.
It's too damn hot. It's too hot.
It is hot. Yeah. Yo, by the way, my Vegas people, when were you guys going to let me know about the grasshoppers?
Okay.
Yo, dude, hold on. I leave the gym. I leave the gym the other day, and I go to get into my car, and I'm just like, what the fuck is... I had like 3 of them on me. I'm like, dude.
Bro, and they're vicious. Okay.
And it was like a lot. It was a lot.
No, this isn't bad. And your folks in the back can attest. We had a bad.
I see Ross shaking his head.
We had a bad winter one year, and
in the winter time.
Yeah, well, because it rained. It rained so much, and so these grasshoppers basically they vegetate on grass and different things, and so when it rains a whole lot, we have a lot of them. So this isn't bad. This is more aggravating. Like it was swarms a few years ago. There were so many when they flew. It actually came up on radar like it was like storm clouds. That's how many. Yeah, it was millions.
Yo,
not even a joke. Yeah, they'll tell you.
Yo, listen. As someone that is a born and raised New Yorker, thick and thin, give me grasshoppers over the fucking rats that are around New York City. Cause listen, I feel like I'm pretty manly.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think I'm a man's man.
I'll scream,
bro. If a rat pops up. Sounded like Buckley on the top of the cage. Just like that, bro. If I'm ever on a date and a rat pulls up, that girl will never call me back. She will never, ever call me back, bro. I'm telling you. So I could deal with the grasshoppers. It was overwhelming.
Yeah, no. One that's so funny that you bring this up. One actually, because it's not hot yet, so I drive with my windows down. This fool flew in mid drive, landed in my lap. I almost had a stroke. On the 15, like literally was like like grasshoppers, 100%. I completely understand what you're talking about.
Bro, it was a shock to me because I never had seen them.
Anytime it rains, like anytime we have a very wet winter and spring, they'll be out.
Jesus.
Yeah, sorry.
I learned more and more about this lovely city.
My bad. That's on me. I'll fall on the sword for that one. I apologize.
Earlier this week, I had a good buddy of ours, George Carmona, on the show, and we were talking about the top 5 wide receivers. Got a lot of great feedback. Thank you all for hitting us up on social media, sending some of your thoughts in the Discord as members of the Patreon, but also the Discord is open for everyone to join. There are just certain tiers that are shut down for like the betting picks, for example. You got to be a member of the Patreon to get them, but for just general conversation, please, I would love to get you guys listening to the show to be in the Discord. I want to get your thoughts on my list, and then I want you to give me your list.
Okay.
But before I do, here are some of the names that have popped up from some people. So Rune says Jefferson, Adams, Diggs, Chase, Tyreek Hill. No Show Thomas says Adams, Diggs, Jefferson, Chase, Hill. Burnsy says Jefferson, Adams, Brown, AJ,
Okay.
Chase, Hill.
Okay.
Shiz says J Jet, AJ Brown, Cup, Chase, Diggs.
Oh.
And then Ben Kotzian says Adams, Jefferson, Cup, Chase, Diggs. My list was Jefferson, Adams, Cup, Diggs, Chase.
Okay.
What do you have your rankings as?
You're gonna hate my list, and everyone's gonna hate my list, and I'm gonna be a homer, and there's going to be one in there where you're like, and I'll be like, hey, listen.
Yo, listen, I showed a lot of love to this dude if it's the same guy I'm thinking about.
Okay, all right. So my list is Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf,
Whoa.
Terry McLaurin.
Whoa. Okay, I love Terry. Dude, I think Terry McLaurin, if he had a legitimate wide receiver,
Quarterback.
A legitimate quarterback,
Yeah.
I already think he's a top 10 wide receiver.
Yeah, he's definitely top 10.
Yeah.
Not like in that can start to be a little bit, when people start you start splitting hairs. He's top 10. He's top tier in the NFL for sure. First off, for me, DK Metcalf, I think I told you I coached his sister. I coached his sister for some years out here. And so I got to meet him, got to meet the family. When I tell you how I'm 6 feet, DK Metcalf towers over top of me, and then I'm a big dude. DK Metcalf is like 2 of me, running a 4.3, 6'5", can jump 40-some inches. Like literally, it would be set hut DK. That would be our entire playbook. Like until you do something, because there's literally nothing a 6 feet or under corner can do with that man. I don't care what you tell me. So like when it really comes down to it, like he is that dope. So I don't think he's shown that enough, but I also don't think they really feature him enough. He's not Brandon Marshall. Like remember when like Jay Cutler literally would like, it'd be set hut, where's Brandon? Like that was literally the Bears offense and the Broncos offense. They haven't really featured DK to that point.
I met Brandon Marshall last week. Well, I've met him a couple times.
Yeah.
Since he's been in the studio. He does some content here. He records his content here sometimes. And one of the first things I told him was, dude, I want to thank you because the first time I won a serious fantasy football league, he was my wide receiver one. Okay. It was in 2012. It was when he first went to Chicago.
Yes.
I had the first pick in the draft that year. And I didn't know this at the time, but when I got there, I had the first pick, right? And it was a brand new league. I had never played in it. One of my buddies, his uncle had triplets.
Okay.
And it was that weekend of the draft.
Sure. So you were
So he wasn't prepared. Yeah, he wasn't prepared. And they hit me up on like Tuesday and the draft was Sunday. They're like, hey man, you want to come in? They're like, it's a $500 league. I'm 21 at the time. I was like, yo, I deliver pizza, bro. I can't be just dropping $500 for a fantasy league. They're like, yo,
wait,
is it?
Listen, I just love your origin story more and more as it peels back, as the layers peel back. Continue.
Bro, I've been through it, bro. I've been hustling.
What pizza? What pizza place?
It was a mom and pop.
Okay, yeah, and it was a mom and pop too.
Portobello. Shout out to Portobello.
Portobello's in New York. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Good pizza. So I tell him, I'm like, yo, I can't drop $500 for a fantasy football league. I make like $300 a week. You know, I can't. He's like, yo, can you pay it by the time the playoffs start, week 13? I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'll have it. He's like, yo, I know you're good for it. No problem. So I get to the draft and I have no idea what the rules are. It's 6 points a passing touchdown.
Okay.
Usually it's 4.
Yeah.
I take Aaron Rodgers number 1 overall. Rodgers ends up throwing like 37 touchdowns or something. This is after he won the MVP that year, right?
Yes. This is a good year.
Goes down, comes back to me. Now I have the back-to-back picks.
Yes.
I take Brandon Marshall, first year with the Bears, and I take Adrian Peterson when he had the 2K.
No.
Yeah, because remember,
you won.
But
you won.
So, bro, remember though, like we got to add context to this.
Okay.
This is when AP blew out his knee week 17 against Washington.
Yeah, that's right.
And people didn't know if he was going to be back in time.
That's true too.
And the year before, he was the consensus number 1 pick. He was on all the magazines. So everyone's saying to themselves like, yo, AP, nah. So when I take AP's name, everyone is trashing me like, oh, this kid No wonder why we got him in the league. It's going to be easy pickings. You don't know about the injuries.
That's hilarious.
And then them three alone just carried me.
Yeah, seriously. You didn't have to do anything.
They were putting up it was full PPR. They were putting up like 100 points a week. It was nuts.
That's so stupid.
It was so nuts.
You won the league.
I won the league, and then I didn't get invited back after.
I bet you did.
Lie, cheat, and steal, baby. Had to do it right. Had to do it to him.
That's too good. That is too good. But for me, listen, AJ Brown last year showcased a lot of what he can be in a competent offense with a dynamic quarterback.
Yeah.
He becomes scary. He really, really does. And so that one is probably the one, I guess, that people could poke the most holes in. If I could obviously put Jamar Chase in there. I could obviously put Cooper Kupp in there. But I think that those guys are going, not Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase he's going to be a problem. But Cooper Kupp, I feel like, is going to start to come back down because who else? Like, you can start triple covering him. Like, we don't have to worry about anybody else on your team. So we'll see. But that's my 5.
I want to play a little game with you with the NFL before we get into some of the NBA stuff, which I know you were taking victory laps on because LeBron is no longer in the playoffs. We'll get to that in a little bit. However, the name of this segment is going to be "This Team in 2023 is which team from 2022."
Okay.
So you know how every year you have a team that goes from worst to first, a team that has a high projected win total that goes under, a team that has a low win total that goes over, a team that's going to have the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
So I have a list of some teams here, and I want to just have a little back and forth discussion as to who you think might be that team.
Okay.
So I want to start off with who is going to be the 2023 Jacksonville Jaguars, meaning a team that had the number 1 pick overall the year before.
Yep.
Finished last in their division, clearly because they were the number 1 overall pick. Trash. And then they end up making the playoffs and they win their division.
So for me, honestly, there's not a lot of great choices. Obviously, I don't think the Texans do it. I mean, the Texans probably could, especially if D'Amico does a great job. But I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears just because of what they already have in place. They already have a quarterback in place. We just haven't seen the quarterback put in the best position for success. Now you're giving him even more receiver help with more coming there, and then also getting Chase Claypool mid-season last year at the trade deadline. Their defense is getting better. I think the Bears, especially now also with Aaron Rodgers leaving, so now Big Dog is definitely gone. I think the Packers will be middle of the road. I don't think they'll be bad, but I think they'll have a similar season that they did this year. But I think it's the Bears for me.
I like that answer. I mean, anyone that's been following along this whole offseason, I'm big on Chicago. Everyone is on Detroit.
I think Detroit is going to be great. I actually think Detroit's going to win the division. I think the Bears, if anybody has a chance to do that, I think they have the best opportunity to do so.
It doesn't sit right with me that the Lions are the favorite to win that division.
I trust me, I get it.
I think they have a lot of flaws still.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. But one thing I won't flaw them on is their coach. And their coach has those boys playing hard, and they're learning how to win. And those two things in the NFL, you start getting that because, really think about, when we talk about the Tennessee Titans and Vrabel. Think about what he did for that team, what he did for that organization in terms of playing hard, playing together, playing sound defense. The Lions, they keep getting better defensively. I think they're going to be a very scary team.
The issue with them is defensively.
Yes.
But it's also they're a team that they struggle to win on the road. And you're going to have to win on the road, right? If you look at their numbers, it's the first time in their history that they'll be featured on the opening day.
Good for them.
Right? Because you have a lot of that momentum from last season. Now they're playing the Chiefs. Obviously, the Chiefs, the repeat winner of the Super Bowl, always gets the first home game, so they're playing Thursday Night Football in Week 1. It's a team that starts slow under Dan Campbell, who you just praised.
Yeah.
Which is it's a gift and a curse, right? Because it shows you that they play hard for him.
Yes.
But there's something out the gates where he struggles. He's been 1-6 and 0-10-1 through the first like
5 weeks or so.
7 or 8 weeks of each season that he's been in. And they're 4-12 on the road. And like if you look at this year in particular, their road schedule is at Saints, at Ravens, at Cowboys, at Chiefs, at Vikings, at Chargers. Like, you got some bar fights, bro.
Go back through them. Go slow.
Dallas, Saints.
Okay, wait. Dallas, they can win. Saints, they can win.
Ravens.
That's a loss. More than likely, depending on where it is in the season and what's going on, obviously.
Chargers.
I'm not that high on the Chargers. For whatever reason. They are honestly the Phillip River Chargers, where there are a lot of but. Like it's like, yeah, they're good, but they don't always play hard. Like, I don't know. But go ahead. Who else?
Chiefs, and then at the Vikings. Vikings, obviously, and then
Vikings
Green Bay and Chicago.
And Lions. I mean, listen, you already know how I feel about Kirk Cousins, so
yeah,
I'm always going to take the field.
Well, so here's the thing, right? I think Chicago is definitely the team in play who I would much rather bet them at plus 350 to win the division as opposed to the Lions as the favorite. It just don't sit right with me that the Lions are the favorite. They also got 5 guys that are going to be suspended.
Yes,
because of the betting stuff.
Because of the betting, you're right.
And it's some key dudes like Jameson Williams.
I want you to see this guy's. You missed him.
I missed it.
Yeah, he had on like literally the entire American flag. Like, he was draped in the flag.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
you could tell who he rooted for.
1,000%.
You could tell. Yeah,
we know where his voting.
We know where his vote went. Yeah.
Is that sad that that's like become a thing where it's like anytime I see like an American flag with someone, I'm like, yeah, well, like that's not good. That it's like they've become just the patriotic party.
I give people a pass when it's like World Cup fever.
Okay,
it's the World Cup. It's like, yeah, you can get away with it.
Or Olympics, Olympic year.
If you're into the Olympics. But with the Bears, I do like the Bears a lot. I love what they've done defensively. I love how they've approached this entire offseason has been great. Because you get their weapon for Justin Fields. You get Edmonds and Edwards on defense.
Yeah.
You spend a first-round pick on the offensive line to protect your quarterback. And then you just say, you know what, man? Our offense might be able to do something. Let's just spend the rest of the draft on defensive players. And that's basically what they did in round 2 and 3. So, to me, Chicago was my pick also. I hate to give those kind of answers. But I did have an honorable mention for that in the event that you did say. Man, I also think Cleveland could do something this year. Cleveland got some talent, man. And now
a full year
of Watson where he's actually going to be practicing and he knows that he'll be playing week 1. Yeah. Remember, this dude didn't play for 15 months?
Yeah, or more.
Yeah, it was definitely more.
Yeah, I feel like it might have even been more.
And then everything that he had to deal with off the field, which, by the way, was his own doing, even putting himself in those situations. But I think they're going to be – that division is going to be tough, man.
Yeah.
Both North divisions. You realize that? We picked both North divisions.
Yeah. Well, because honestly, looking around the league, hold on. Looking quickly around the league, there aren't a whole lot of kind of last place teams that you really give a fighting chance to. You think, the Jets could do it potentially. That's a possible. Cleveland's a good one. Houston again. I don't see them moving that far ahead, but the rest of their division isn't world beaters. Denver. It could happen, but that'd be a lot. Russ would have to literally be cooking Michelin star restaurants. My team, the Commanders, possible, but it's not probable. I wouldn't say it's more improbable. The NFC South, I feel like, because technically you could pick 3 teams. All the teams had the exact same record almost. The Bucks got in 8-9. Everyone else was 7-10. So you could pick Carolina, you could pick New Orleans, you could pick Atlanta. All 3 of those, any of those could possibly do it, and you wouldn't be wrong. And then
can you tell me who actually finished 4th though in that division?
Actual 4th was Atlanta, or at least that's where their That's where they're listed. Atlanta was 6-3 at home. And
Hey man,
1-7.
that's a massive difference, dude.
Yeah.
Even though you have the same record, that's the difference between going to play the Commanders, going to play the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, you mean in terms of getting that home
The
game.
seeding.
Yeah.
The seeding. Because you always play the third place in your conference.
Yeah.
The same you're gonna play the divisions, but when you're not playing the divisions, you'll play the conference.
That's right.
So that's why all those years we would have the Colts and Patriots play. Like every year, you're like, wait, why are they always playing? So
Worked out that way.
it worked out that way. You mentioned the Broncos. Who would be this year's version of the Broncos? A team that comes into the year, a lot of expectations, a lot of public attention because they made a big splash for a quarterback. And I feel like the answer here is pretty obvious.
I don't know. I'm probably wrong. I'm going with the Carolina Panthers. Because of, making the move to get their quarterback and all that kind of stuff. Now you see all the memes of, Bryce Young being too small and all that kind of stuff. I think that I don't think they get out of top 5 range. I think they're still top 5. I think they still, they gave away a lot of assets to get that number 1 pick. And what did you really get with it? You got Bryce Young, but we don't know if that's going to be the right guy. So, that's who I'm going with. Who's the obvious? Because it doesn't seem like I picked the right one.
I mean, the parallels are insane.
Oh,
It's
the Jets. The Jets. Okay. Well, we'll see, but this is what I'll say about the Jets. The Jets last year had a remarkable year, and if you really think about how many games they really could have won with better quarterback play, the Jets win 12 games. You know what I'm saying?
That's very fair, yeah.
So for me, I think the Jets, I don't know if the Jets are going to ascend all the way to 13, 14 wins because their running back blew out his knee, and so that was kind of the catalyst that they had as well. But I do think Aaron Rodgers wins them that game versus the Patriots where literally no offense could do anything. You know what I'm saying? That's a win. Go ahead and add that back to the list. Like, they had games like that where it was like their offense was so anemic that they couldn't do anything. Now you add more playmakers and you add Aaron Rodgers. But I do understand where you're coming from. Yeah, they do have a lot of hype for sure to fall back on.
I think the New York Jets are going to go one of two ways. It's either they're going to reach those expectations that a lot of people are setting for them, or it's going to crash and burn. Now, I've talked about how out the gates the schedule is rough, right? They got Philly, they got Kansas City, they got some like
dogs.
They got the Cowboys. Like it's crazy. However, if you could weather that initial storm, if you're the Jets, you have 3 straight home games versus teams in cold weather where they're coming from warm weather or domes.
Okay.
Right? It's Miami, Atlanta, and Houston. They have a 3-game stretch where they're playing all of those teams in MetLife Stadium. So it's obviously we know about Miami, the weather down there. And then you got the 2 teams that are playing in the dome. Now they're going outdoors and like post-Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. That's where it is? It's in November.
So you have that going for you. If you could weather that storm and you're the Jets, be around 500, best case scenario, those first 6 weeks. And then you have those 3 straight home games in the cold weather versus teams that aren't outdoor teams. Like I mentioned, Miami, Atlanta, and Houston. And dude, they're the only team in the NFL that has 10 home games this year.
Okay. Oh, what, 10?
The AFC this year has 9 home games. The NFC has 8.
Yeah.
The Jets basically have 10 because that game against the Giants is considered a Giants home game, but it's in MetLife.
Yeah.
So the season ticket holders are going to be Jet fans. Like, the players don't got to travel. They don't got to do nothing. They're sleeping in their own beds. Right?
Sure,
All right, you go to the visiting locker rooms. Like, does that really matter? Is that much of a drastic change for you?
No, I think they have their own locker room. They're still in their locker room.
No, because I think the Jets and the Giants, they share the home team locker room.
They share the locker room?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a horrible design.
I mean, that's how it's been in the past. So I'm just assuming, yeah.
Oh, that's
You would think that the Giants have, when they're at home, they're using the Jets road locker.
Well, no. I'm just saying because like Staples, the Clippers have their own locker room, the Lakers have their own locker room, and there's a locker room for the visiting team.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because
I'd
guys
have to do some research on that.
Yeah, because like guys stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like they have lockers where I have like, little code for it and everything. Like that's my locker. So to reset that every week, that would seem that was a miscalculation for sure.
But you don't find that interesting that they're playing basically 10 home games?
Yeah, no, 10, that is dope. That's look, listen, you got to make the most of it, especially now with the uneven schedule. Now it's no more 8.
Think about it. If you just go 10, if you go 500 at home,
yeah,
and then
that's 5 wins already.
That's 5 wins, and then just go 500 on the road.
Yeah,
you're at 9 wins. 9 wins got some teams in the playoffs last year.
AFC, I think it definitely
maybe AFC. Yeah, you're right. AFC, it might not be the case, but I think the roadmap for them, they got to weather that early storm.
Yes,
but they could also be this year's version of the Broncos last year. Yeah, Nathaniel Hackett's the offensive coordinator. He was the head coach for the Broncos.
Yikes!
So you got some parallels there. Which team is going to have the top pick? Who's going to be this year's Chicago Bears?
I'm going to spook you.
I think I might spook you too.
Okay, I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I'm actually going. I think the Rams, they've lost a lot. I talked earlier about, Cooper Kupp, not necessarily being as dynamic because he has 3 and 4 coverages rolled towards him every game. I think the Rams are going to struggle, and I think honestly they get off slow and then they go ahead and shut it down because it's like, hey, we could go get X, and Caleb Williams is already there.
Bro, that's what I was gonna say. And yo, check this out. It's gonna be the first time they have a first-round pick since 2016.
Oh crap, that's true. I forgot about that.
Dude, I'm gonna bet them to have the number 1 pick this year.
Nice. I'm glad I could.
I'm gonna look into that.
I'm glad I could help.
Yo, last year I had a 10-1 on the who was it? It was the Panthers.
Oh, okay.
To have the number 1 pick, and at some point it was looking good, and then Carolina got hot, and then I also had Houston, and Houston ended up winning. I was pissed. It was a favorite though. It was like 5-1 to have the number 1 pick. But yo, I like this, right? Because remember the Rams all these years, it's been cool, it's been funny, like F them picks, right?
Yeah.
Like that was the battle cry.
Yeah.
And it works out great for you because you win the Super Bowl. But now you're paying for it, bro.
Yeah. Now your team is old.
And now your team is old.
Yeah.
You have a lot of money tied to like 6 players.
Yeah.
You have to get rid of one of them in Ramsey because you just have to free up some cap space. Stafford's coming off that back injury, elbow injury, all those injuries that he's had. You mentioned Cooper Kupp before, probably going to get quadruple teamed out there. And the Rams have just been known to be like, here's a first-round pick. Let me get Von Miller. Here's a first-round pick. Let me get this guy. Here's a first-round. Like, I don't care. Second-round pick. It don't matter. And now it's going to be the first time that they actually have a first-round pick. Stafford, how much longer does he have? Caleb Williams, you're right. He's at SC, hometown kid.
Well, he's my hometown kid. He's from D.C.
Yeah, but they always say the college,
kid.
The college. Kid. Which always blows my mind when people are like, "Oh, take the hometown discount." It's like, bro, I'm from Queens. Queens don't got no football team, bro. If I was a professional player, if I didn't get drafted by
the Jets don't still play in Long Island. Like,
yeah, like nah, that shit don't work, bro. My hometown they don't got no professional teams. But yo, that's interesting. I like that one. You know who I was gonna say?
Who are you going with?
The Patriots.
Yeah, that's.
Yo, besides their defense, what do they have that
Bill Belichick?
Look, hold on. All right, time out. Bill Belichick. I think it's safe to have the conversation.
What conversation we having about the hoodie?
I mean, bro, like all these years we've been hearing about your system and the Belichick way, the Patriot way. I think a lot of it was the Brady way. Because Brady ain't there now, and like Mac Jones was mid from the day that they took him. I didn't like Mac Jones at all, bro. And my buddy Impy used to do the show with me. He used to come on. He's like, yo, he's a savior. I'm like, dude. Why? Because they had that draft video where him and Belichick were like walking at the same pace, just mad stiff. Like, well, come on, dude.
That Mac Jones draft, like, walk down to the to the ramp, I still like he still walks like an assistant principal. Like it weirds me out every time I see it. I'm like, bro, you gotta have some swag to you at some point.
Like they signed Juju in the offseason. They get Mike Gesicki.
Yeah.
But it's a roster that the defense has gotten a little older.
Yeah. And retirements have happened.
I do like Christian Gonzalez. I think him at corner was dope. He was my favorite corner in the draft. I wanted the Giants to get him. The Giants need some secondary help. And I think he could be in play for defensive player of the year. Defensive rookie of the year, I should say. 16-1. I think that's a good one.
Did you like my Commanders getting Emmanuel Forbes instead of Christian Gonzalez, one pick earlier?
I did not. Nah. I texted my buddy Josh, also a Washington fan, and I told him, I was like, yo, Christian Gonzalez got to be your pick here.
I was so boosted that he fell, but the more and more like I've learned about Emmanuel Forbes, the more and more I'm like, you know what? We don't have anybody that has ball skills. We don't have because I mean he's 6'2" and 4.3 speed as well, and I mean plays zone, plays man. But I definitely had to have some conversations with myself to get on board because I was pissed when it happened.
Yo, I'm looking at their roster, and the more and more I'm looking at this, they're gonna have the number 1 pick next year.
The Patriots, you're saying?
Yeah. And then Robert Kraft could go up to Belichick and be like, yo, man, you know what?
It's time to ride off.
It's time, bro. It's time, man. And then you have the number 1 pick, and then you could start fresh. New head coach, new quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, man, that would be wild. I will say that would definitely be wild just in terms of what it would mean for that region, because that region has had 20 plus years of excellence to like completely redo it. Oof, that would be it would be a tough time. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of Boston people aren't liking these picks right now. We'll say that.
Yo, they've had their fun, bro.
Legit.
Dude, so I'm 32 years old, right? If you're a 32-year-old dude that grew up in Boston, how many championships have you seen?
How many championship runs? Not even championships, like conference championships.
Yeah.
like every year we have a chance.
Bruins won a cup. Celtics won a title.
Yep.
Went to a finals, conference finals. Obviously the Patriots.
Red Sox won.
Red Sox won a shitload of titles.
They won four. Yeah.
04.
Yep.
07.
Was it 07 or 08?
I think it was 07 because 08 were the Phillies. And then the Yanks beat them.
Yes.
And then you had like 2013, 14, and then they had the one with Mookie Betts before he left.
You're right. 2018, I think.
So, bro, and then like, I don't know, did the New England Revolution win the MLS Cup?
They did.
They did, right?
They
like,
did.
bro, how many championships have you seen if you're from Boston? I've had no sympathy. Fuck that. They're going to have the number 1 pick next year. This team sucks.
We're putting it out there.
Yeah, I'm putting it out there right now. I'm going to bet on them. New England Patriots to have the number 1 pick next year. And then they get Caleb Williams. They tell Belichick, yo, bro, you're like 90. Right? You had your time. You're the GOAT. You're the definitive GOAT. But like, bro, it's time. Like everyone just, eventually it's just time, bro. You just don't got it no more. You're a part of the Wash Club. That's it. You just don't got it. All right. Last one. Which team is going to be this year's version of the Tampa Bay Bucks? And I need to elaborate because people are going to be like, yo, the Bucks made the playoffs. Yeah, but like throughout the whole year, no one was saying, holy shit, Tampa Bay, watch out for Tampa Bay. I tried to buy into them. I lost a ton of money when they played the Cowboys in that first game. Thank God I won it back with San Francisco taking care of it. But that was more of a Dallas issue. It was more anti-Dallas than it was pro-Tampa Bay.
Yeah, we all just were like, this is Tom Brady and this is Dallas.
Yeah.
Tom will figure it out.
And they're a dog at home. Why not? And then that bet was burned to a crisp after the second drive.
Sideways.
So what I mean by this is who's going to be this year's version of Tampa Bay is a team that greatly underperformed the year before. Tampa Bay had an 11.5 win total, one of the highest in the leagues. This year, they have 6.5. No team has had that much of a change in either direction. Really? Obviously, because Brady isn't there. What team do you have in mind?
I'm going to keep it in Florida, and I'm going to say the Miami Dolphins.
Whoa.
I'm going with the Dolphins. With a caveat, I would say the Chargers is another one that I mentioned before too. They're very much but I think the Dolphins are good. I think Tua still has injury issues, injury concerns, and they're gonna lose some winnable games that get them in that spot of like, dang, they lost to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like they'll lose to the Cardinals or someone like, you know what I mean, the Cardinals don't have anybody at quarterback right now. They take a loss. Like one of those bad losses. They're that kind of team where, you know what I mean, like I can't bet on that team.
Every year in the NFL, I love doing this. When the regular season ends, you have the WTF losses.
Yeah.
Where you look back and every single good team has one. Sometimes they have two.
Yeah.
Remember when the Bills lost to the Jaguars?
Yes. And we were like, what the hell is going on, Bills?
How'd you
like, and didn't they get roasted too? I feel like they lost pretty good.
I think they scored like 6 points, single digits.
Yeah, it was a bad loss. It wasn't like,
and they were a 15-point favorite on the road.
Yeah.
So it happens often. Like last year, I think the Falcons beat either the Bengals or the Niners.
Yeah.
And you're looking at it like, yo, how? So I hear you with that. I just wanted to make that comparison and bring that up because it happens all the time. Yo, I think Miami has the best roster in the AFC East. I think they're the best team in the AFC East. And the only knock as to why, as I look at their plus 280 to win the division, the thing that scares me the most about Miami is obviously the quarterback. Because the quarterback is great for what they're asking him to do and what they have around him. I'm not saying he's a great quarterback, but it's the system around him that makes him elevate. He was playing very well for them last year, but then this dude gets viciously hit.
Yeah.
And when he gets hurt, it's like the stiff KO head kick, right?
Bro,
he's just stiff as a board.
He was like this on the field. Like that was absolutely
and
crazy.
He wasn't moving for a long ass time.
Yeah.
I think Miami, though, has a lot of talent on both sides of the ball, especially with Ramsey going there now, too. And I like their roster, dude. I don't know if I see them underperforming. The only way they could underperform is if Tua gets hurt, which is a big part of the handicap.
Yeah, I mean, but I think at this point we can kind of bank on Tua missing games or being, impaired in games for a stretch. And like for me, like back to what you were saying in terms of the Bucs. The Bucs last year, I was constantly like, come on, Tampa Bay, get it together. Like you were just waiting for them to like, oh, okay, they run off 5 wins in a row because they finally, got serious. I feel their division is not going to be easy. The Jets are there now. Obviously the Bills are still there. They're going to, I don't know. They're my pick.
That's fair. I mean, people wanted him to retire after the last time he got lit up.
Yeah. I mean, it's head injuries, man.
Yeah.
Especially when he had him like almost damn near back to back. It was like, you know what I mean? He had it 1 week and then he had like, they let him come back and then he got hurt like 2 weeks later. Not good.
That's a rough go of it.
Yeah.
I want to shift over to the NBA before we wrap up this episode. I want to start by asking you this. You know what drives me crazy nowadays that you see on social media? And it's kind of inspired with NBA culture. How many people are him? Everybody hits a jump shot. I'm him.
I'm him.
Austin Reeves, I'm him.
Oh.
Now golfing, right? Got swept. Bro, what's with this I'm him thing?
Okay, so we talked about this before we had the episode. You were like, we got to talk about this. And so I wanted to define what him is. So just bear with me.
Is this your definition?
This is my definition.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, my definition of him. He that never shies away from big moments.
I like it.
Is always game for the opponent or the challenge.
I like it.
And he that does not shrink when the lights shine brightest. So for me, because we're obviously not going to talk about I'm him in the regular season. That's not what it is. But in the playoffs and in finals, there's really only like Kobe had bad games in the playoffs, like horrible games where he didn't care, games where he was disinterested. So okay, Kobe.
Dude, when Ron Artest or Meta World Peace shout out to Queens, one of Queens' finest, when he hit that three to win that Game 7 against the Celtics.
Yeah.
Bro, Kobe was like 7 of 28 from the field.
Yeah.
Played awful.
Yeah.
And no one remembers it because they end up winning.
They win.
But what happens if they end up losing that game, what the conversation is around Kobe and during that time?
Especially because they don't get back to another one. Remember,
Right.
The next year we thought they were they're going for a three-peat, and surprise, Dallas takes care of that, and that's the end of it. Listen, I'm saying Jordan and Brady. Those are the only two.
That's a good list.
That I literally because you really think about it. We talk about it with LeBron. And I wanted to post this so bad, but I did not. I'm very big on jinxes, so I was like, don't you dare post this and jinx yourself. Just let LeBron lose. So when in this last game, when LeBron has 31, in the first half and no one else is involved, I was like, they're gonna lose. Even when they were down 15, I was like, Denver is gonna come back because I was like, LeBron's gonna shut it down in the second half, and then the rest of the dudes are like, well, we never got warm. And the progression towards us losing begins. And I mean, LeBron's had numerous bad games in the playoffs. Like, when you really sit back and you think about it, as much as people, especially LeBron fans out there that want to, go in on Jordan, Jordan lost to the Celtics. He got swept twice by the Celtics. Again, this was 3-game series back then. That's one thing. But then, he had bad playoff performances or bad teams around him. Michael was out there averaging like 44, 7, and 4 in those series. Like, he was not the reason they lost the series. He was out there killing himself to win. He didn't have just bad games where you were just like, man, Jordan didn't show up tonight. That didn't happen. You know what I mean? You really, really think about it. Brady, similar thing. Like, even when Brady was young and he wasn't necessarily putting up godly numbers, he wasn't turning the ball over. He never had those games where it was like, Brady cost us the game. That didn't happen. Not in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Something like maybe the other team elevated or maybe they ran out of time. But it wasn't ever like, oh, Tom wasn't the reason. He wasn't the catalyst behind the loss. You really, really think about it, man. Like, as much as Jimmy Butler has looked great this run, he had a bad game this past game, missing bunny after bunny at the bucket. You know what I mean? Like, that list is very, very small. That's just my take on it.
I agree with you. I agree with a lot of what you said. I'd add some players that are at that level in the sense of you're an MVP, you're an all-NBA guy, you're an all-pro in the NFL. But if you're a dude that was like in the G League the year before,
okay.
or if you're, I don't want to call him a jobber, but man, this shit has gotten a little ridiculous, dude. Like, you're not that guy at all.
Yeah.
Like, you got to earn that. You got to earn that cachet a little bit.
You're not even the franchise guy.
Yeah, dude.
How are you jumping?
Like, people are wondering if they're going to pay you to bring you back. Like that. You ain't him if that's the case.
Oh my
God. There needs to be a criteria to it.
It needs to be a relax. Like,
yeah.
Relax. You're
yeah,
not.
And each player and situation is different in the team. Like Booker. Like, what can you say about Booker in these playoffs? Like, he played outstanding.
He did. I still wouldn't call him.
No, but if he was to call himself him, as opposed to Cameron Payne calling himself him,
totally different conversation.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's just been cringe, man. You see that shit on social media all the time.
Yeah.
The Celtics, they won Game 4. They were quoting a lot of dudes from the 04 Red Sox. Don't let us get one. Don't let us get one. Better beat us tonight. The craziest thing, I don't know if you caught this, but the craziest thing about this series was prior to Game 4, the odds for the Celtics to win the series was plus 480.
Yes.
Which is nuts because
they were the favorite.
No, well, they were the favorite coming in. I felt like that price was wrong. I felt like the Miami Heat being a 4-1 dog to win the series, I felt like that was wrong. And then when they're down 3-0, the Celtics are plus 480. It's 0 and 150 now.
Yeah.
Teams that are up 3-0, they close it out.
Yeah.
But it was interesting looking at the odds.
Like, it wasn't as crazy as...
It wasn't as crazy. And it seems like now they're plus 230. And if you think about it, they're going to be favored in the next 3 games.
Wow, you think so?
Well, they're an 8-point favorite tomorrow.
8 points.
Thursday night, whenever you're listening.
Yeah.
Right now, they're an 8-point favorite. They're at home against Boston. They were a 3-point favorite in each of the games in Miami.
Yeah.
And then what are they going to be if it goes to 7 in Boston?
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, they were favored basically this entire series, and the books have been wrong. I think the biggest reason that Miami lost that game, outside of Boston coming like literally on fire from 3, truthfully, it really was, again, back to the bunnies. Like the entire team missed layups, like point blank. I'm at the bucket, missed layups, and then Boston would come back the other way and hit a 3, or they would get an and one.
Bro, what have I been telling you about basketball nowadays with the 3-point shot? You just look at the box score and it tells you. The Heat shot 25% from 3.
Yeah.
The Celtics shot 40% from 3. That's the game right there.
That's the game.
10 more threes they hit.
Yeah.
And that's all that the NBA is nowadays.
Which is literally
Can you shoot
travesty.
40? Can you shoot 40%? And if you can't, can you shoot 10% higher than the other team? That's a swing of what? 13, 14-point swing?
Yeah. That's your game.
That's your game right there.
Yeah. Outside of a whole lot of second chance points, or in the Lakers case, a freaking free throw disparity that's disgusting and no one wants to talk about. But I hear you.
So it was just fascinating to look at the odds, because the odds tell a story.
Yeah.
It's a good metric to see whether or not your team has a chance. But a lot of things are not going to age well if the Heat end up losing this series.
Most notably, my daggone flight to Miami for Game 3
of the finals.
Yeah, I'm going to Game 2 and I'm going to Game 3. So I'm going to Denver because I'm going to interview fans out there in Denver because it's their first one. And then I'm flying to Miami.
Oh wow, that's right. They've never been to the finals.
They've never been.
Yo.
Yeah. So I and then also, Game 2. Who knows what happens Game 1? Obviously, Miami could win, Denver could win, but Game 2, no one feels like their team is out of it.
Right. You still got hope, even if you lose by 50.
Yeah, whether Denver wins Game 1 or whether Denver loses Game 1, their fans are still gonna be like, "We're winning." You know what I mean? So I'm excited to see that. And then Miami, I've been in Miami since COVID, so I'm well overdue.
Same, bro. That's the only other place I'd live in besides Vegas.
I can't do there now. Too old. I wanted to live there a couple times. I was actually going to work for Nike when Nike had an office out there. The older I've gotten, you start buying property, bro. It's like, look here, man, I'm not about to be battening down the hatches like the 3 Little Pigs every 2 weeks and in the fall. I can't do it. I can't do it, man. I worked too hard for this house. And somebody looking at me like, yeah, so we can't cover that. I'll climb a clock tower on some stuff like that. It's over.
Yo, you ain't kidding, bro. A lot of temptations down there too that can make you spend money.
Yeah.
But you live in Vegas, dude. It's not like Vegas isn't
No, it's different. I was supposed to go.
You don't like to gamble though, right?
Nah, not really. I'm not a gambler.
Right.
I literally, if I would have, so I was supposed to go to the University of Miami for college. That was where I was supposed to go. My high school ended up screwing that up. And if I would have ended up down there, this whole conversation, this would have never happened.
Right?
I would have had a Cuban baby mama and a whole some bad credit. It would have been a rough time.
Bad credit.
Rough time. Oh man.
Ooh, I got a good one for you. Speaking of Miami, you know who was him? Miami LeBron. I think that's the best LeBron of all time.
That's definitely the best LeBron, but even that LeBron,
that's him at his absolute. No, I know they lost, but from a dominant standpoint, like him.
Yeah, JJ Barea,
man, yo, dude, he had one bad series. Is held over this guy.
Hey,
life.
Look, well, look, no, not really, because remember that Spurs series, they weren't great. The first one, when Ray Allen saved them, they weren't, you know what I mean? Like LeBron was taking bad shots down the stretch praying that they would go in. But I mean, that was I would say that was LeBron at peak LeBron.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's what I mean.
For sure. No. If you want to start
peak
talking
LeBron.
peak LeBron, he was at the height of all of his powers. You know what I mean? Defensively, offensively, speed, energy output, like all of that. Yeah, that it was uncomfortable for me as a LeBron hater to watch. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Isn't it hilarious that the Lakers get swept? Nuggets go to their first finals, and the conversation immediately is LeBron's future. Bro, no athlete controls his narrative more than him.
You know what? And I will tell you and I didn't, this happened after I did my episode on Monday. My biggest thing about that whole press conference that pissed me off was how LeBron turned Carmelo's moment into LeBron. Did you see that? Did you catch that?
I did.
Like, what do you think about Carmelo? Did you know he was going to retire? Yeah, I knew, because I filmed it. People are going to say I lied about that, but I filmed it. I filmed it about a week ago. I just didn't know when they were going to release it. Like, bro, it's like, even if that's the case, we don't need to know that.
Yeah.
Just answer
some things are better left unsaid.
Yeah, like, yeah. I mean, like, some things, like, it's cool that you did that.
And that's your man's too, bro. How are you taking away the spotlight from him? That's terrible.
You know what I mean?
Shame on you, LeBron.
You know what I mean? So, like, that was, but it was, for me, that was like, my guy that's a LeBron guy was like, see, you only hear what you, I was like, look, man, like, when he did it, I was like, dang.
Well, here's the thing. There's no athlete, I think, that controls his narrative more, or at least attempts to control his narrative more than LeBron.
For sure.
Dude, he created Uninterrupted. Right? Like,
for sure. Yeah.
That's his company.
Yeah.
Where athletes could go on there and basically tell their story.
Yeah.
Like it's them and the Players Tribune were like the first of its kind.
Yeah.
Where Players Tribune was more traditional media and journalism. Yeah. Where Uninterrupted was more of the, late 2010s, early 2020s style of sports media.
Yeah.
It's all digital.
Yeah.
And LeBron immediately, I don't know, man. We just got swept, but I got a lot to evaluate. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, what's going to lead ESPN now? Not that the Nuggets made the finals for the first time ever. Yeah. It's what happens. Is LeBron going to walk away? It's like, yo, for a fact LeBron's not walking away because he's going to have that media run. Yeah. That every place I go to, I'm going to get the standing ovation and I'm going to get I'm going to get the jersey.
Oh, he definitely wants that. That was my bro.
That's what I thought too. I was like, bro, enough with the cap.
That was my
He's
first
not
thought.
retiring. He's going. When LeBron retires, if he decides this offseason to be like, yo, this is going to be my last season,
yeah,
he's going to get all those celebrations. And LeBron wants that.
Yeah, for sure.
Why not? Like, he deserves it.
I mean, Jordan didn't get it the first two times.
Yeah, but I think because Jordan, did it twice.
Well, no, but I mean, the first time he retired, literally before the season. He did a Magic Johnson. He just retired in 93. And then
but that was also he had the stuff with his pops. His pops had just died, where he didn't want to make that about himself. He's just like, yo, I just don't love this no more. Yeah, that's why I'm gonna walk away. But when Kobe had his justified, remember Draymond Green was chirping at Paul Pierce. He's Pierce. You thought you was Kobe.
You thought you was going.
It's like you ain't getting no celebrations, bro. You ain't getting no hugs. You ain't getting no custom jersey. Get out of here, dude.
Yo, that was so Paul Pierce.
That was a 10-7. That's what that was. He didn't even. Yo, Paul Pierce was like, damn, he got me.
Bro, Paul Pierce has been roasted in the Jalen Rose one where he's talking about him versus D Wade. He's like, he's made he was a scorer's champion. You never were. Paul Pierce's face, he's just sitting there
all NBA defense, you never were.
You never was that. It was it was
3-time champion or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Michelle Beadle three's better than one. Ooh. That one to me is still I love that more than anything.
Paul Pierce. Nick Killer. Add him to the list of millions of people that have killed the Knicks.
What's going on with your Knicks, man? You excited?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm not falling for any rumors. I don't think any Knicks fan should. Until I see this. Until I see this celebration where the guys are holding the jersey up and they have their name. I ain't falling for that.
And contracts.
I don't want to hear about Embiid, Giannis, Luka, none of that. Nah. Why, dude? My whole life, that's all it's been. Oh, we get LeBron, then we get Amari. And then no one appreciated Amari because Amari kept getting hurt. Amari was great those first 50 games.
Yes,
MVP
he was.
candidate. Then he started getting hurt. But it was the same shit with like RJ Barrett falls victim to this too, where I like RJ Barrett. But when the expectation is, oh shit, the big three is going to be Kyrie, Durant, and Zion, and then you get RJ, like,
RJ Barrett. Yeah.
We got RJ, right? Yeah. It's the same thing. Like, Carmelo just announced that he's retiring. His career has aged the best of any New York Knicks basketball player in recent memory. He was not appreciated in New York. I didn't really appreciate him as much until after he left. And you realize this was the only dude that wanted to come here.
Yeah. Wanted to come.
Wanted to come to New York.
Loved it.
Embraced it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. He
performed.
Yeah.
Did he get a shitty hand? Yeah, he did also, because no team had more head coaches during his tenure. No team had more starting fives during his tenure.
No team had Linsanity during his team.
Look, he was at fault for a lot of that stuff too with Jeremy Lin, because Jeremy Lin came in and Linsanity took over New York City and took over basketball for like 3 weeks. And then that was still Melo's team.
Yeah. And
there was some hostility there, especially how history has shown now since that time.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Linsanity, the documentary?
No, I haven't watched that.
You got to watch it. It's really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm going to definitely check it out. I'm always into those documentaries for sure. Especially when it hits home and it's like someone that played for your team. I'm always all in.
It's really good.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
But Melo retires, and I think his career aged the best. He wasn't appreciated in New York. Like I said, I didn't really appreciate him. I was always hating on him. And then as the years have gone by, you're like, man, that's the only dude that was an all-NBA dude.
Yeah.
A guy that was held to a high standard that wanted to come to New York.
Yeah.
LeBron, Curry, Dame Lillard, Durant, they all love playing at MSG, but no one ever wanted to come to the Knicks.
But no one could actually carry that weight. Knicks Fans TV was talking about it yesterday. Carmelo, number 7, gets retired, yes or no?
Yeah, I think so.
You think they should?
Yeah.
I think they should. And then actually somebody was mentioning on my page talking about Carmelo in Denver. And what they should do with 15, and they were actually saying that maybe they retire 15 for both Jokic and Carmelo, but then it's similar to like the Cowboys with 88, where it's like a retired number, but then your best player gets to rock 15.
Oh, so it's like an honor for you to wear that number. Yeah,
that would be cool. That one. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
That doesn't happen in basketball that often, so I was like, that actually, like, soccer, it happens a lot and different things, but I actually like that idea a lot. Since, they didn't expect Jokic to become Jokic when he put on 15. It was just like, here, throw on 15. And then it was like, oh, crap, we gave 15 to an MVP.
But if we're being honest, the better 15 is Jokic.
Yeah. He is.
How can you, even think about that?
Well, no, listen, shoot, Carmelo, Denver was trash. You know what I'm saying? And he took him to the playoffs that first year. You know what I'm saying? Like Carmelo, I think he got caught up with being Carmelo a little bit at the end of Denver. And that's why it was better for him to go to New York. Lala wanted to go to New York, like all that kind of stuff. But could it have worked in Denver? I think it definitely could have worked. They had built a really good team around him.
But back-to-back MVPs, should have won a third one, go to the finals. They'll probably be a favorite to win the finals.
I'm gonna tell you this, and this is with full sincerity. I had never really watched the Denver Nuggets, like a full game. Like I'd watch clips or I might watch a moment, but I had never sat and watched from 12 to 0 a full game. Jokic is amazing. Yeah. Like amazing. And I think a lot of people, we just kind of looked at the numbers and was like, oh, okay, he's dope. But I never really watched him play. That boy is bad. Like, that is a bad European boy. he is a problem.
Dude, you also brought up a good point last time you were on when you were talking about how Denver has drafted everyone.
Yeah.
Right, with the exception of like KCP and Aaron Gordon, which you have to get guys to come in from free agency.
Sure.
But the player development, well, Jeff Green's been on like
75
27 teams. Yeah. He's been on, dude, Jeff Green is such a running joke on like NBA Twitter where he'll come to a team and then that fan base would like get behind it. Like, yo, we got Jeff Green. It's like, enjoy. He's going to drop a 30. He's going to have a 28-point game. And then he's going to disappear for 28 days.
Shoot, the closeout game, he had like 17. He was going to work.
So they just develop players the right way. And it still shows you that if you can keep your core together like they have. That was another thing we were talking about, like the ball movement between the Nuggets. Because Malone has been there for a minute now.
Yeah.
And you've had that core that you've developed through the years. Yeah. Jamal Murray, Jokic being your main core. And then you add a Pope.
Freaking Michael Porter Jr.
Porter Jr.
That I said the Wizards should trade up and get. And nobody, and I forget who the heck we took. And that's just, he is a stud. He was a stud. And you remember he had back injuries in
that's
college.
why he dropped. Yeah, we talked about that too.
My goodness.
So it's going to be fun, man. Do you think the Celtics come back before we wrap up? We got a little sidetracked, but
no. I think the Heat finish it in 5.
Oh wow! So you think they win tomorrow?
Yeah, they better. Because if they don't, then the pressure does start to starts to shift.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I think the Celtics had a Vietnam flashback and, you know, and they all kind of grabbed the rope, but they also are very, like, there seems to be a lot of discontentment on that team. So, you know, I think, I'm going to look and see who the referee matchups are. If I see Scott Foster pop up,
are they going back to Miami?
Well, no. You never know. That's the thing with Scott Foster. That's the thing with the NBA.
Scott Foster. They're 1-10 now with him as a referee.
Who's 1-10?
The Heat. So when the Knicks played the Heat, in Game 6,
yes,
Scott Foster was a ref, and the Heat were 0-9 straight up in games in which Scott Foster was a ref, and they were 1-8 against the spread. They covered. The Heat covered, but the Heat didn't lose. Yeah. And that was the first time. Sorry, the Knicks covered, but the Heat didn't lose.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Scott Foster did everything he could in that fourth quarter to get that thing back to New York.
Yeah, he tried,
like, bro. Literally, the Knicks had like
how is that not investigated, dude?
Bro, the Knicks had like 3 made field goals the entire fourth quarter, dog. They went to the line like 30 times.
Listen. We live in a world right now where we had 5 players from the NFL just get suspended for sports betting. Yep. We had Calvin Ridley, who is now coming off a suspension for a whole year for being one of us. Yep. Well, one of me, because you don't like to gamble.
I gamble, but
nah, it's cool, man. Listen,
not like you.
Don't gamble. Let me do it. All right.
Well, I mean, shoot, I can start getting you $20 here and there. You go ahead and press it for me. You know, press it. Do something with it.
We live in a time now where every network covers sports betting.
Yeah.
Right. It used to be frowned upon. Now every network has the point spread, the total, the live total, the whole 9.
Talk about it in games now.
Talk about it in games.
The line has moved. You know, the first half line was this, and now it's this. Like,
yeah, and it's no longer shady like Al Michaels saying, "Oh, that helped some people. That touchdown mattered to some people." It's not like that anymore, right?
Yeah.
And people know that anytime this guy is reffing, some shady shit is going down, bro. And it's just. It's they're embracing it too. It's shady, bro.
It's bad, man. It's bad. Like I posted, I don't know if you saw this on my story. This is a couple days ago when Jimmy Butler like made a bucket at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And the ref
was
like,
Celtics.
Like he was like mad. Like,
so of all the sports, NBA is the one that the referee can influence the most. I don't even think it's debatable.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because, I mean, football, it can happen. It can happen, but a lot has to happen. So, like, you have to, like, for it to be in football, it's got to be that, oh, this was a penalty and I didn't throw the flag, or this wasn't a penalty and I threw the flag.
But also, in football, you have 7 other people that come together that make that decision, too, sometimes.
Yeah.
NBA, you have 2 others.
Yeah.
Less people. And every call is subjective in any sport.
Yeah.
Dude, even in fighting.
Yeah.
Right? You land a left hook on me, I drop to the ground, and I do that like that dead leg where it looks like my ACLs just blew out. You know when the guy just collapses? But then you'll see them recover.
Yeah.
Some referees step in there.
Yes.
Other referees, they let it go. Like Herb Dean is always like, oh, Herb Dean is he's the main event ref. Oh, someone's died, right? Like that's the meme. And then you have other dudes that stop it way too early.
Yeah, Herb Dean too.
Herb Dean's also, right? So you get the best of both worlds with him. But every referee, it's subjective.
Yes.
But with the NBA, there's so much where, you know, that hand check.
I mean, I
think it's the one that could be corrupted the most.
Yes. And especially if you're paying attention. And people don't pay attention. Like, it's like, oh, they won. I'm like, bro, like, so you really didn't notice when the foul disparity literally went from like 1 to 8? Like, it was like they got 1 foul, they got 8, and both teams driving in the basket. Like, so we ain't getting no contact on this side.
Or the way they could influence games is Embiid gets 2 fouls in 3 minutes.
Yes. Jokic in game 4.
Yeah.
Like they tried to foul him out in like literally 3 possessions. A man had 3 fouls and he went from 3 fouls to almost 6 in like literally 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like
soccer nowadays, they have VAR, so everything gets reviewed.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's harder for that to be corrupted. Where the NBA, I think every team has one challenge a half, like a coach's challenge.
I literally don't know.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
I literally don't know.
I think it's the last 2 minutes.
Because like remember when they first started, the last 2 minutes, everybody be like this.
Yeah.
Like everybody on the floor. And like they don't do that anymore. Because I'll see plays where I'm like, y'all better challenge that or somebody better say something, and then nothing happens. So I'm like, I don't know. I truthfully can't tell you.
Let us know. Let us know what sport you think has the most tampering with
corruption.
When it comes to corruption when it comes to officiating.
FIFA.
I mean, FIFA's corrupt, and I mean, dude, how long do you want to go, bro? It's the most corrupt organization ever. That's why I'm hoping the U.S. can win the World Cup in 2026. It's gonna be on home turf. Give us a couple whistles,
bro. I pray
they're gonna be stacked though. Men's team is gonna be good. They just got that center forward that declared.
I know.
Have I been waiting for him to declare?
That was big. That was
New York
big.
City kid too.
Yes. Yeah. No, that was big. We'll see. I don't know what that would do for this country. That would be, I think for segments of this country, that would be absolutely insanity.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it would be huge news.
Nah, you ain't getting 2 million people in Buenos Aires.
No.
Like Argentina did.
No.
You ain't getting that.
That was that scene was incredible.
Yeah.
That was absolutely incredible. Now we started on soccer. I'm sorry.
You got the jersey on too.
Fault,
that's why it got me inspired.
I put that on myself. My fault.
Go to Apple if you listen to the show on Apple Podcasts. Leave a review. It goes a long way to building the show. VeteransMinimum.com is where you can find all things VM. As far as I go, at Nick Day is 10 as you can find me. Josh, tell the people all the stuff that you're working on and where they can find you.
Man, look, the American Fan 365. We are on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I think we got somewhere else as well in there too. I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling over the next few months, so I might miss an episode or two here with Nick. Going to be going to the NBA Finals, going to be going to the NBA Draft. I might go to the NHL Draft as well, and then some NFL training camps. So, if you're out there, definitely give me a shout, and might get you on camera. So, excited.
We'll catch you guys later.